one is so strange that your own body is literally glowing right now. And you can't see it. Right now, inside you, there's a machine more advanced than anything humans have ever built. And most of it is doing something you'd never believe. We're counting down 12 shocking facts about the human body. From acid that could dissolve metal to a heart that beats billions of times. And the number one fact? It means you've been glowing in the dark this entire time. Let's start with something you're doing right now without thinking: making spit. Your salivary glands pump out roughly 1 to 1.5 liters of saliva every single day. Over an average lifetime, that adds up to enough saliva to fill around 2 backyard swimming pools. And it's not just water. Saliva contains an enzyme called amylase that starts digesting the starch in your food before you've even swallowed it. Your stomach is basically a chemical reactor. The acid inside it has a pH of around 1 to 2, which is strong enough to dissolve metal like zinc and seriously damage most materials. So why doesn't it dissolve you? Because your stomach lining replaces itself constantly. The cells are renewed every few days, and parts of that lining are rebuilt so fast that you essentially grow a new stomach surface every week or 2. Here's one that sounds impossible. Ounce for ounce, your bones are stronger than steel. A block of bone the size of a matchbox can support around 9 tons of weight. That's about the load of several cars. Bone manages this while staying light and flexible, thanks to a clever mix of rigid minerals and stretchy collagen. Pound for pound, it's one of the strongest structural materials in the entire natural world. A baby's skeleton. You have fewer bones now than the day you were born. Babies enter the world with around 300 bones, but adults end up with just 206. They don't disappear. Many of them fuse together as you grow, especially in the skull and spine. That's why a newborn skull has soft, flexible gaps. Those separate plates let the head squeeze through birth and then slowly knit into one solid case. If you took every artery, vein, and capillary in your body and laid them end to end, they'd stretch roughly 60,000 miles. That's long enough to wrap around the Earth's equator about 2.5 times. Most of that length is microscopic capillaries, so thin that red blood cells have to squeeze through them in single file. And your heart pushes blood through that entire network in under a minute. Your small intestine looks modest, but unfold it and it's around 20 feet long, 3 to 4 times your own height, all coiled up inside your abdomen. Its inner wall is covered in millions of tiny finger-like folds called villi, which dramatically increase the surface area for absorbing nutrients. Spread that surface out flat and it would cover an area many times larger than your skin. It's a digestion machine disguised as a tangle of tubes. Your heart never clocks out. It beats around 100,000 times a day, which works out to roughly 2.5 billion beats over an average lifetime, without ever stopping for a break. In a single day, it pumps about 2,000 gallons of blood, enough to fill a small swimming pool. And it generates enough pressure with each beat to squirt blood several feet into the air. You are not entirely human, at least not by cell count. Your body is home to roughly 38 trillion bacteria, which is about the same number as your own human cells. They live mostly in your gut, where they help digest food, train your immune system, and even produce vitamins you can't make yourself. In other words, you're walking around as a teeming ecosystem with a person-shaped wrapper. You are quite literally not the same person you were a year ago. Your body builds around 330 billion new cells every single day to replace the ones that wear out and die. Your skin renews itself in weeks, your gut lining in days. And over the course of about 10 years, you'll have essentially replaced your entire skeleton. The you reading this is a constantly rebuilt copy of the you from a decade ago. When you stub your toe, the message races up to your brain shockingly fast. Nerve signals can travel along your fastest nerves at speeds of up to around 270 miles per hour. That's faster than a Formula One car at full throttle. Your nervous system is essentially a high-speed electrical network firing constant updates, which is how you can yank your hand off a hot stove before you even consciously feel the pain. Your brain is the most power-efficient computer on Earth. It runs on roughly 20 watts, less energy than a dim light bulb, yet it contains around 86 billion neurons wired together by trillions of connections. There are more possible connections in your brain than there are stars in the Milky Way. And it does all of its thinking, dreaming, and remembering on about the same power it takes to charge your phone. Here's the number one fact, and it's genuinely true. Your body emits its own light. Japanese researchers in 2009 confirmed that humans are bioluminescent, giving off a faint visible glow as a byproduct of our metabolism. The catch is that this light is about 1,000 times weaker than what the human eye can detect, so you'll never see it with the naked eye. But make no mistake, right now, in total darkness, you are quietly glowing. So which of these blew your mind the most? The glowing skin, the bones tougher than steel, or the fact that you're basically a colony of bacteria? Drop your favorite in the comments and subscribe to Fantastic Facts so you never miss what your own body's been hiding.